joining right now. Please, a warm Mark Thompson Show welcome, if you would, for Heather Knight, everybody. Come on, Heather Knight. How have you been, Heather Knight?
Keeping busy.
Yeah, very, very much. You finished your big transportation marathon, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, we proved that you can circle the bay only on public transit in 15 hours. That did include 5 miles of walking and running. So it was a very long day. But we did not call the emergency Uber we were anticipating.
That's pretty cool. So you didn't have to break the glass and pull the lever.
We did it.
Yeah, very impressive. Well, you do so many great stories about San Francisco and what's going on, and sometimes they're encouraging, they're always enlightening, and sometimes they're discouraging, and you go, what is going on? This might fall into that latter category. A $1.7 million public toilet.
Yes.
First, let me ask you the question, then I'm going to ask you what happened to the party, and we can talk about the supervisor and all that kind of thing, who had to kind of back and fill. But how does the price of a toilet get to $1.7 million, even if it's a prototype? Doesn't that seem like a lot?
This isn't even a prototype. It's just a regular old toilet. So there's a town square in Noe Valley. You may have seen it with a farmer's market on the weekends, yoga classes. It's on 24th Street, beloved little former parking lot that was turned into a nice, charming plaza for the neighborhood. It's had plumbing ever since it existed. It was built back in 2016, ready for a bathroom that never got built. They were missing the money to put the bathroom over the plumbing. And so Matt Haney went and got $1.7 million from the state. Then we find out, wait, $1.7 million for one toilet in 150 square feet of space? This is not a fancy thing.
Yeah.
So I asked,
first of all, shout out to Haiti for getting $1.7 million for a toilet. I don't know, that's an effective politician for his district, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently he didn't look into it that much because they told me they needed 1.7 million and I went and got 1.7 million. But then I asked the question, why did you need to get 1.7 million for a toilet? So got a long response back from the city, as they are wont to do. There's lots of reasons. Construction costs, as we all know, have gone up. There's a supply chain crisis still. Labor's more expensive, materials. But the crazy part is all the permitting and review needed for one toilet. It's just as complicated, I learned, to put one toilet in a park as it is to build an entire recreation center with bathrooms inside of it. It literally goes through the same process before all these different commissions. The Arts Commission has to weigh in with the civic design review to make sure that the toilet fits in the civic, I forget, what did they call it? Fits the civic nature of the city. And it's just a ridiculous
Sure, the
process.
aesthetics of it. I mean, to be fair, the aesthetics of it do have to be reviewed. And I'll also say this, to be fair, you are dealing with human waste. I like the fact that there's some oversight on it. You know what I mean? But so when you talk about a review process and a regulatory process of any kind, in a way, that's certainly justifiable. That said, these processes, and you've made this point before, the processes in San Francisco associated with this can take way longer than they should.
Mm-hmm. And you have processes and protocols and standards.
And also be far more expensive than they should be.
Right. And then the timeline was perhaps even more shocking. I said, so when is this bathroom going to be ready? Because they were having the celebration supposedly yesterday. So I figured, well, you'd only have the celebration if the toilet's already there. But it won't actually be built and ready for use until 2025.
What? Yeah. So they were going to have this big potty party. And,
I should have thought of that. I didn't.
Well, that was Kim, right? Kim came up with that, I think.
Kim, how are you?
Yeah.
Can I steal that if I write about it again?
You're welcome. Please take it. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I think you said portable potty party, didn't you, Kim? Or was it John?
Kim, how are you?
That was John. That was John.
John said that.
Fabulous producer.
So John Daly came up with that. So they were going to have this party, and then they canceled it. But what happened and why?
Well, I kind of went down a rabbit hole trying to figure out why one toilet could cost $1.7 million. And my column came out the morning that this potty party was supposed to happen. And then Matt Haney realized it looked really stupid to be celebrating a potty worth $1.7 million that won't even be ready for 3 years. And so he had his aides cancel they called the neighbors at the last minute and said, yeah, this isn't a very good look. So we're not going to have this party after all. I pointed out in my follow-up, which is online at sfchronicle.com, that it's kind of telling that they were going to have a celebration in the first place for this bathroom that won't even be there until 2025.
Yeah, I mean, give me, for the inaugural flush, you can have a little bit of a ribbon cutting.
Sure.
But right now, it's just an announcement.
Well,
right.
As someone who's lived in Noe Valley, there's a little bit of entitlement.
Yeah.
It's an upscale area. It's true.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me when you talk about rec center or community center, or maybe like, a place they could rent out for community gatherings or parties, how it doesn't make sense that they could have probably built something like that in addition with the bathroom, and how they just went for this tiny little potty facility. Like who's even
I'd imagine
about
that has something to do with the community. I'm betting that they don't want a rec center there. What do you think, Heather?
Well, it's not a big space. The community only wanted a bathroom. I mean, there's tons of families and kids there, and when they're hanging out and the little kid said, Mommy, I have to go, there's nowhere to go.
Did they order the bidet option?
They had this very simple ask for years. Yeah. But a lot of people pointed out $1.7 million, you could have bought a house across the street that has like 2 or 3 bathrooms in it and just have people go there.
Right, exactly.
Which might be an interim solution. John, you should look into that.
That's a wild idea.
It's a wild idea, but it just might work.
Ooh, it's a wild idea, but it just might work.
I have one last question, and it's this. Have you seen the actual plans for the bathroom? I mean, all of your work that you did, clearly your column affected dramatically the party. They canceled the party because of your column. And I'm wondering in the follow-up and all of this, have you seen some of the specifics? I mean, I don't even know what you'd look at, but, have you seen it?
There's nothing to see yet. This is so hypothetical that there aren't even any drawings or renderings yet. But one thing I learned, again, going down the rabbit hole, I was like, well, there's places that make prefabricated bathrooms. So I found out that there's a company that could actually provide 7 prefab bathrooms for the city for the same price that they were going to spend on one hand-built, handcrafted, bespoke bathroom, and could get them ready for use in 8 months instead of 2 or 3 years.
What does Haney say about that?
Marble and a chandelier, right?
Yeah, what is the Super Bowl? Right. Yeah, that's right. Change the recessed lighting and maybe save yourself $200,000. What does Haney say about it when you asked about that?
Well, to further the potty puns, he was pretty pissed off. I talked to him yesterday, and he said he was angry. He didn't delve too much into why he was seeking $1.7 million in the first place, but he said that there were some good reasons. And when he realized there really aren't, he kind of backtracked. The money's already there, but he's hoping that the city will figure out how to make the bathroom cheaper and then use the rest of the money for something else.
Well, I mean, and more to your point, and that's what really made me ask the question. Maybe you can get 5 other bathrooms for that.
I mean, we do need a lot more public bathrooms. It's very hard when you're out and about to find somewhere unless you go into like a coffee shop and spend money. So there do need to be more bathrooms.
And, for reasons even beyond that. But all right, sfchronicle.com. Support the Chronicle, support print journalists, support great columnists like Heather Knight. We love your window on San Francisco life, even as troubling as it is sometimes. But I love also that you were able to affect maybe the future of this project and the demands being asked by supervisors to those who are working on this project. Otherwise, it looks like a money grab to me. So thank you.
And there's so many examples like this.
Yeah. Heather Knight, come visit again, Heather Knight. Oh, do you have a question, John? John, did you have a question? No. Okay. Bye, Heather. Thank you.
Bye,
Heather.
Yeah, Heather Knight, everybody.